Stop working for free. You're working every single day. But are you building your future or simply making someone else's future bigger while yours stays exactly the same? Today, you'll discover the invisible ways millions of people work for free and how one simple shift can make every hour of your life start paying you back. Let me ask you one question. If every hour of your day were an investment, would your future become richer or would it go bankrupt? Stay with me, because your answer may explain everything. Every person is investing in something every single day. The question is not whether you are making investments. The question is where your investments are going. Some people invest in comfort, others invest in entertainment, some invest in distractions, others invest in excuses. And while those investments may provide temporary satisfaction, they rarely produce lasting value. The greatest investment you will ever make is the investment you make in yourself. Many people spend years waiting for someone else to recognize their potential. They hope for a better opportunity, a promotion, a higher income, or a breakthrough that will finally change their lives. But they overlook one important truth. The world tends to reward the value you create, not merely the potential you possess. Potential is like a seed. Value is the tree that grows from it. A seed has incredible possibilities hidden inside it, but until it is planted, watered, and cared for, those possibilities remain invisible. In the same way, every person carries talents, abilities, and gifts. Yet those gifts become valuable only when they are developed through learning, discipline, practice, and experience. Every day you delay investing in yourself, you are quietly accepting less than you are capable of becoming. Imagine owning a powerful machine capable of producing extraordinary results. Instead of maintaining it, improving it, or learning how to operate it properly, you ignore it year after year. Eventually, its performance declines, not because it lacked potential, but because it lacked investment. You are that machine. Your mind requires learning. Your body requires care. Your character requires discipline. Your skills require practice. Your confidence requires action. When you neglect these areas, you are asking life to produce extraordinary results from ordinary preparation. Life rarely works that way. Many people believe investing in themselves is selfish. In reality, it is one of the most generous things they can do. The stronger you become, the more you are able to serve others. The wiser you become, the more valuable your advice becomes. The healthier you become, the more energy you have to contribute. The more skilled you become, the greater problems you can solve. Personal growth is not only for your benefit, it increases your ability to benefit everyone around you. One reason people postpone self-investment is because the rewards are not immediate. Reading one book does not instantly transform your career. Exercising for 1 week does not completely change your health. Learning one new skill does not immediately multiply your income. The improvement seems small, almost invisible, but self-investment follows the law of accumulation. Every page you read adds another piece of knowledge. Every conversation teaches another lesson. Every challenge develops another layer of wisdom. Every disciplined decision strengthens your character. These small improvements quietly compound over time. Think about a bank account that earns compound interest. At first, growth appears slow. The numbers barely seem to change. But over time, the accumulated growth becomes remarkable. Personal development works the same way. Knowledge compounds. Skills compound. Discipline compounds. Confidence compounds. The person who improves just a little every day eventually becomes almost unrecognizable from the person they used to be. This is why waiting until you have time to invest in yourself is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Time is passing whether you invest or not. The question is, what kind of person time is helping you become? Another reason self-investment matters is because opportunities often arrive without warning. A promotion becomes available. A business opportunity appears. Someone asks you to lead. A difficult challenge suddenly requires your expertise. In those moments, people often say, "You were lucky." But what appears to be luck is frequently preparation meeting opportunity. The person who spent years learning is ready. The person who practiced consistently is prepared. The person who developed discipline can handle responsibility. The opportunity did not create their value. It revealed the value they had already built. This is why your greatest responsibility is not chasing every opportunity. It is becoming the kind of person who is prepared when opportunity arrives. There are many ways to invest in yourself. Read books that expand your thinking. Learn skills that increase your usefulness. Take care of your physical health. Develop emotional maturity. Improve your communication. Strengthen your integrity. Protect your character. Build discipline through daily habits. These investments cannot always be measured immediately, but they become visible in every area of life. Your confidence grows because you have evidence of your preparation. Your income often grows because your value has increased. Your relationships improve because you communicate more wisely. Your influence expands because people trust your character. Everything begins changing because you began changing. One of the greatest lies people believe is that they are waiting for life to improve before investing in themselves. The truth is the opposite. Life often improves because they first invested in themselves. The investment comes before the reward. The preparation comes before the opportunity. The growth comes before the breakthrough. Never underestimate the value of 1 hour spent improving yourself. One chapter read today may influence a decision years from now. One new skill may open a door you cannot yet see. One healthy habit may add years of energy and purpose to your life. One courageous conversation may transform a relationship forever. Small investments create extraordinary futures. Remember this: you carry your greatest asset with you every single day. It is not your paycheck. It is not your job title. It is not your possessions. It is you, your mind, your character, your skills, your habits, your attitude. Everything else can be lost. These remain with you wherever you go. So refuse to spend another year expecting greater rewards while making the same level of investment. Choose growth. Choose learning. Choose discipline. Choose improvement. Because every day you invest in becoming a better version of yourself, you increase the value you bring to the world. And the day your value begins to grow is the day you stop working for less than you're truly worth. Time is the only resource that every person receives in exactly the same amount each day. Every morning, whether you are wealthy or struggling, experienced or just beginning, successful or searching for direction, you are given 24 hours. No one receives an extra hour because of status. No one can purchase more of it. No one can recover yesterday's unused supply. Once an hour has passed, it is gone forever. That is why time is your greatest currency. Unlike money, time cannot be earned back. A lost dollar can be replaced. A failed investment can recover. A business can be rebuilt. But one wasted afternoon, one neglected year, or one decade spent on meaningless pursuits can never be returned. This is why protecting your time is one of the highest forms of self-respect. Many people believe they are simply passing time. The truth is that time is passing them. Every hour is quietly shaping the person you are becoming. Every decision about where your attention goes is determining where your future goes. Yet millions of people unknowingly donate their most valuable resource to things that never pay them back. They give hours to endless scrolling, hours to unnecessary arguments, hours to gossip, hours to worrying about problems they cannot control, hours comparing themselves to people they have never met, hours consuming information that entertains for a moment but contributes nothing to their growth. At the end of the day, they feel exhausted, not because they worked on something meaningful, but because they spent energy without creating value. Imagine owning a business where employees worked all day but produced nothing. The lights stayed on, the machines kept running, everyone appeared busy, yet at the end of the day, there was no product, no progress, and no profit. No wise business owner would accept that for long. Yet many people unknowingly operate their lives this way. They remain busy, their calendars stay full, their phones remain active, their minds are constantly occupied, but very little of that activity moves them toward the life they truly want. Busy is not the same as productive. Movement is not the same as progress. Activity without purpose is simply exhaustion wearing the disguise of achievement. One of the greatest thieves of time is distraction. Distractions rarely announce themselves as danger. They often arrive disguised as harmless entertainment. Just 5 more minutes, just one more video, just one more notification. Those moments feel insignificant. But life is rarely changed by one large decision. It is shaped by thousands of small ones. 5 wasted minutes become 30. 30 minutes become hours. Hours become weeks. Weeks become years. One day you wake up wondering where all the time went. The answer is simple. It was spent one small distraction at a time. Another invisible drain on your future is negativity. Some people devote enormous amounts of emotional energy to complaining. They replay old disappointments. They criticize circumstances. They focus on everything outside their control. The problem is not that difficulties exist. The problem is that constant attention to problems leaves little energy for solutions. Attention is like sunlight. Whatever receives it grows. If you continually feed fear, fear grows. If you continually feed gratitude, gratitude grows. If you continually feed learning, wisdom grows. Your attention determines what becomes stronger in your life. This is why you must become the guardian of your focus. Not everything deserves access to your mind. Not every opinion deserves your emotional energy. Not every notification deserves your immediate response. Every interruption carries a hidden cost. It steals momentum. It breaks concentration. It weakens creativity. It fragments your thinking. The greatest work is often produced during uninterrupted periods of focused effort. Protecting those moments is not selfish. It is necessary. Successful people are not simply better at working harder. They are better at deciding what deserves their time. They understand that every yes to one thing is automatically a no to something else. When you say yes to endless entertainment, you may be saying no to learning a new skill. When you say yes to procrastination, you may be saying no to future opportunities. When you say yes to constant distraction, you may be saying no to your dreams. Every choice carries an opportunity cost. That is why intentional living matters. Ask yourself regularly, what is this activity paying me? Not only financially, is it paying you in knowledge, in health, in stronger relationships, in peace of mind, in personal growth, in wisdom, in character? If the answer is consistently no, then you are likely working for free. That does not mean life should become endless productivity. Rest has value. Laughter has value. Meaningful recreation has value. Time spent with loved ones has tremendous value. The difference is intentionality. Purposeful rest restores energy. Mindless distraction quietly drains it. There is a profound difference between recreation and escape. One renews you. The other delays your life. Imagine investing one focused hour every day into becoming a better version of yourself. Reading, practicing a valuable skill, improving your health, building your character, learning something new. That single hour may not seem dramatic today, but after 1 year, you would have invested more than 365 hours into your future. After 5 years, the difference between you and the person who never made that investment would be extraordinary. Small investments compound, just as wasted hours compound. The future is built one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, one decision at a time. Every morning, life places 24 priceless hours into your hands. How you spend them determines the person you become. So stop giving your attention to things that leave your life unchanged. Stop donating your focus to distractions that never reward your effort. Protect your time with the same care that a wise investor protects their greatest asset. Because one day you will look back on your life and realize that your future was never created by one extraordinary moment. It was created by how faithfully you invested the ordinary hours that everyone else took for granted. Those hours are your greatest wealth. Spend them where they will pay dividends for the rest of your life. Most people believe wealth begins in a bank account. They think financial success starts with a higher income, a better job, a profitable investment, or a fortunate opportunity. While those things can certainly influence your financial future, they are not where wealth truly begins. Wealth begins much earlier. It begins in your daily habits. Long before money appears in your hands, your habits are deciding what will happen when it does. This is why your habits either build wealth or quietly steal it. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are casting votes for your future. Every decision you make strengthens a pattern. Every pattern becomes a habit. Every habit shapes your character, and your character influences every financial, personal, and professional outcome you experience. The challenge is that habits rarely announce their consequences immediately. A single unnecessary purchase seems harmless. Skipping one day of learning feels insignificant. Ignoring one opportunity to improve appears unimportant. Choosing comfort over discipline for one evening hardly seems life-changing. Individually, these decisions appear small. But life is not shaped by isolated moments. Life is shaped by repeated moments. Imagine a tiny leak in a large water tank. One drop escapes and no one pays attention. Another drop follows, then another. Over the course of a day, the loss seems almost invisible. But after months or years, the tank that once held abundance becomes nearly empty. Poor habits work exactly the same way. They rarely destroy your future overnight. They quietly drain it. One excuse at a time. One delay at a time. One distraction at a time. One careless decision at a time. Because the damage happens slowly, people often ignore it until the consequences become impossible to avoid. The opposite is equally true. Good habits also appear unimpressive in the beginning. Reading 10 pages of a book does not instantly transform your knowledge. Saving a small amount of money does not immediately create financial freedom. Practicing a skill for 30 minutes does not make you an expert overnight. Preparing healthy meals for 1 week does not completely transform your body. Yet each of these habits is planting seeds, and seeds have a remarkable quality. They contain far more potential than their size suggests. Every wise financial decision plants another seed. Every hour spent developing a valuable skill plants another seed. Every disciplined choice strengthens the habits that eventually produce abundance. One of the greatest misunderstandings about wealthy people is the belief that their success depends entirely on income. Income matters, but habits matter more. A person with poor habits can lose great wealth. A person with excellent habits can slowly build it. History has shown this repeatedly. People inherit fortunes and lose them. Others begin with almost nothing and steadily create extraordinary lives. The difference is often not opportunity alone. It is the habits they consistently practice. Wealth is not merely something you possess. It is something your habits know how to build and protect. Think about a farmer. The harvest does not surprise the farmer. It reflects months of daily choices. Preparing the soil, planting the seeds, removing weeds, watering consistently, protecting the crops. None of these actions seem dramatic on any single day, but together they determine the harvest. Your financial life works the same way. Every dollar managed wisely is another seed. Every unnecessary expense avoided is another seed protected. Every new skill learned increases the value of future opportunities. Every disciplined routine improves your ability to recognize and create success. The harvest always reflects the habits. Another powerful truth is that habits shape your identity long before they shape your bank account. A person who consistently saves begins seeing themselves as responsible. A person who continually learns begins seeing themselves as capable. A person who follows through on commitments develops confidence. These identity changes influence future decisions, and future decisions influence future results. That is why habits become so powerful. They are not simply changing what you do. They are changing who you believe you are. Many people wait until they feel successful before adopting successful habits. But the order is reversed. Successful habits create successful people. The disciplined person wakes early before success arrives. The learner reads before opportunities appear. The saver manages small amounts wisely before larger amounts ever come. The leader develops integrity long before anyone offers them responsibility. Preparation always comes before promotion. Another habit that quietly steals wealth is living only for immediate gratification. Modern life constantly encourages instant pleasure. Buy now, watch now, scroll now, consume now. Very few voices encourage patience. Yet every meaningful achievement requires the ability to delay immediate pleasure for greater future rewards. This principle applies far beyond money. It shapes relationships, health, career, character. The willingness to sacrifice today's comfort for tomorrow's opportunity becomes one of the defining habits of extraordinary people. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you strengthen that habit. Every time you invest in learning instead of wasting time, you strengthen that habit. Every time you save instead of spending impulsively, you strengthen that habit. Eventually, wise decisions become natural. Discipline becomes part of your identity. One encouraging truth is that no habit is too small to matter. Many people refuse to begin because their efforts seem insignificant. But greatness has always been built through small actions repeated consistently. One chapter, one workout, one wise purchase, one meaningful conversation, one promise kept, one disciplined morning. These moments accumulate. The person you become tomorrow depends upon what you repeatedly choose today. Your habits are constantly paying someone. The question is whether they are paying your future or quietly charging it. Every distraction has a price. Every excuse has a price. Every disciplined action has a reward. Choose carefully where your habits invest your life. Because years from now, your circumstances will not simply reflect what you hoped for. They will reflect what your habits have been building all along. Build habits that create wisdom. Build habits that create discipline. Build habits that create value. Build habits that create lasting wealth, not only in your finances, but in your character, your relationships, your purpose, and your life. Because long before wealth appears in your hands, it is being quietly shaped by the habits you choose to repeat every single day. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must answer one important question. What am I truly worth? Not in terms of money alone, but in terms of the value they bring to the world. This question changes everything because the world rarely rewards people according to what they hope for. It rewards people according to the value they consistently create. Many people spend years chasing opportunities while overlooking the one thing that attracts opportunity in the first place. They search for better jobs, higher salaries, influential connections, and fortunate breaks, believing these things alone will change their lives. Yet they often ignore the most powerful strategy available to them: becoming more valuable. Opportunity has a remarkable habit of finding people who have prepared themselves. Think about it this way. Imagine two individuals standing before the same opportunity. One has spent years developing skills, strengthening discipline, improving communication, and building character. The other has spent those same years wishing for success, but avoiding the daily work required to earn it. When the opportunity arrives, both may desire it equally, but desire alone is never enough. Preparation separates those who are ready from those who are merely hopeful. This is why you must know your value. Knowing your value is not arrogance, it is clarity. Arrogance believes it deserves rewards without effort. True confidence understands that value is built through consistent growth, honest work, and faithful discipline. Knowing your value means recognizing that your future is not determined by your current circumstances. It is determined by the person you are becoming. Many people underestimate themselves because they measure their worth by temporary situations. They say, "I'm just an ordinary employee. I'm only starting out. I don't have enough experience. I've failed too many times." But none of these statements define your value. They describe a season, not your identity. A seed does not look like a forest, yet the potential already exists within it. Likewise, your current position is not the full measure of your future potential. The important question is whether you are growing, because value is not static. It can increase every single day. Every book you read expands your thinking. Every skill you practice increases your usefulness. Every promise you keep strengthens your reputation. Every challenge you overcome develops resilience. Every difficult lesson learned adds wisdom that cannot be purchased. These are the investments that quietly increase your value long before anyone else notices. One of the greatest mistakes people make is expecting greater rewards while remaining the same person. They want higher income without higher skills, greater influence without greater responsibility, more opportunities without greater preparation. Life rarely works that way. The marketplace rewards people who solve problems. The greater the problem you can solve, the greater your value becomes. This principle applies far beyond business. A trusted friend creates value by offering wisdom and encouragement. A dedicated teacher creates value by shaping minds. A skilled craftsman creates value through excellence. A thoughtful leader creates value by serving others with integrity. Whatever your role, your influence grows as your value grows. That is why personal development should never stop. The moment you believe you have nothing left to learn is the moment your growth begins to slow. Lifelong learners remain valuable because they remain adaptable. They understand that every season requires new knowledge. Every challenge demands new skills. Every opportunity rewards preparation. Another important truth is that building value requires patience. We live in a world that celebrates instant results, instant success, instant recognition, instant wealth. But true value is built quietly, like a master craftsman shaping wood, like an artist refining every detail, like a farmer patiently tending the field. The work often goes unnoticed at first, yet every day of faithful improvement strengthens the final result. Do not become discouraged if others fail to recognize your growth immediately. People often notice the harvest without seeing the years of planting. They admire confidence without witnessing the discipline that produced it. They celebrate success without understanding the sacrifices behind it. Let them. Your responsibility is not to impress everyone. Your responsibility is to continue becoming someone whose value cannot be ignored. There will also be moments when you are tempted to settle, to accept less than you are capable of, to lower your standards because growth feels difficult. Resist that temptation. Never confuse humility with settling for mediocrity. Humility means remaining teachable. Mediocrity means refusing to improve. One leads to wisdom, the other leads to regret. Know that your value is never fully defined by what someone is willing to pay you today. A paycheck reflects a current agreement. It does not determine your ultimate potential. Continue increasing your knowledge. Continue refining your skills. Continue strengthening your character. Continue becoming more dependable. As your value grows, new doors begin to open. Sometimes gradually, sometimes unexpectedly. People begin trusting you with greater responsibility. New opportunities appear. Your influence expands. Not because you chased every opportunity, but because you became someone prepared to handle them. Remember this powerful truth. Success is not something you pursue forever. At a certain point, success begins pursuing the person who has become undeniably valuable. The world is constantly searching for people who solve problems with integrity, people who keep their word, people who continue learning, people who remain disciplined when others become distracted, people who choose excellence even when average effort would be accepted. Become that person. Do not waste your life wishing for greater rewards while neglecting the person capable of earning them. Build your value every single day. Protect your integrity. Strengthen your discipline. Sharpen your skills. Expand your wisdom. Serve others with excellence. And never settle for less than the potential that has been placed within you. Because the greatest investment you can ever make is becoming someone whose value continues to grow long after circumstances change. When you know your value, build your value, and refuse to stop growing, you no longer spend your life begging for opportunities. You become the kind of person opportunities are searching for. And that is the moment you truly stop working for free. If you're tired of giving your life to things that never reward your effort, subscribe today and start investing in the one future that truly belongs to you. Because 5 years from now, you'll either thank yourself or regret every hour you kept giving away for free. Growth is often misunderstood. Most people believe that becoming better means constantly adding something new. They search for another book to read, another course to take, another strategy to learn, another opportunity to chase, or another habit to develop. While all of those things can be valuable, they overlook one of the greatest principles of transformation. Sometimes your life changes more because of what you remove than because of what you add. Imagine trying to fill a glass that already contains dirty water. You can continue pouring fresh water into it, but until the contaminated water is emptied, the glass will never be completely clean. The same principle applies to your life. You can keep adding knowledge, motivation, and ambition, but if old habits, limiting beliefs, destructive attitudes, and unhealthy influences remain, they continue contaminating your progress. Growth is not simply an act of addition, it is also an act of elimination. This truth appears throughout every area of life. A gardener does not create a healthy tree by watering alone. They also prune dead branches. They remove what no longer serves the tree so that healthy growth can flourish. At first glance, pruning looks destructive. Branches are cut away. Parts of the tree are removed. Yet every experienced gardener understands that pruning is an act of wisdom, not harm. The tree becomes stronger because unnecessary growth no longer steals its energy. Your life requires the same courage. There are habits that once served you, but now limit you. There are beliefs that once protected you, but now imprison you. There are routines that feel familiar, but quietly prevent progress. There are influences that slowly drain your confidence, your focus, and your peace of mind. As long as these remain, meaningful growth becomes more difficult. Many people believe they lack potential, when in reality, they are simply carrying too much unnecessary weight. Think about climbing a mountain. Two people may possess equal strength. One climbs, carrying only the essentials. The other fills their backpack with rocks. Every step becomes heavier. Every mile becomes harder. Eventually, exhaustion arrives. Not because the mountain is impossible, but because the burden is unnecessary. Many people live exactly this way. They carry resentment from years ago. They carry fear of failure. They carry guilt over mistakes they cannot change. They carry the opinions of people who stopped believing in them long ago. They carry constant comparison. They carry excuses that have become comfortable companions. And then they wonder why moving forward feels so difficult. The issue is often not a lack of ability. It is the presence of unnecessary weight. One of the greatest barriers to growth is believing that everything familiar deserves to remain. Familiarity creates comfort. Comfort creates attachment. Attachment makes letting go difficult. Even when something is unhealthy, people often cling to it simply because it is known. A limiting belief repeated for years begins to feel like truth. A destructive habit practiced long enough begins to feel normal. An unhealthy relationship maintained over time begins to feel necessary. But familiar does not always mean beneficial. Sometimes the greatest act of wisdom is recognizing that what brought you this far may not be capable of taking you further. Every new season requires new choices. Every higher level requires greater discipline. Every meaningful transformation demands that something be left behind. This is why courage is such an important part of growth. It takes courage to release old identities. It takes courage to admit that certain habits no longer belong in your life. It takes courage to stop blaming circumstances. It takes courage to walk away from environments that constantly pull you backward. Growth asks difficult questions. What thought patterns are keeping you small? What excuses have become permanent residents in your mind? What daily behaviors quietly contradict the future you say you want? What relationships consistently drain your energy instead of strengthening your purpose? The answers may not always be comfortable, but honesty creates freedom. You cannot remove what you refuse to identify. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Once you recognize what is holding you back, the next step is intentional action. Do not attempt to change everything overnight. Transformation is rarely built through dramatic moments. It is built through consistent decisions. If distraction is stealing your focus, reduce it one choice at a time. If negative thinking dominates your mind, replace it with intentional learning and constructive thoughts. If unhealthy habits control your routine, establish one better habit to take their place. Removal without replacement often leaves a void. Replace weakness with strength. Replace fear with action. Replace excuses with responsibility. Replace doubt with preparation. Another important truth is that removing obstacles often reveals potential that was already there. Many people spend years searching for confidence. In reality, confidence was hidden beneath layers of fear. Others search endlessly for